Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Now this is actually not the first reading that I'm doing today because I was just doing the reading that I'm going to redo now because for whatever reason my camera decided not to record any of that, so all I have is audio. But I want to stick to the same topic because I do feel that it's an important topic, at least an important case to do a reading on, and the topic was the boy in the box. Now, a long time ago, I'm thinking somewhere in the 30s or 40s, something along those lines, there was a box found in a field full of trash, and inside that box they found the corpse of a young boy. Nobody knew who it was or where they came from. All they knew was that they had recently had their hair cut, they were no longer alive, and I believe they also had some cuts and bruises, I'm not really sure. But they were trying to figure out whose kid this was first of all and why they were in that box. They took a look at the type of box. It was like a pram of some sort, like one of those things you put your kid in to make sure that they don't get into any trouble. And they were trying to figure out who had recently bought one of those and then tried to go to all the different addresses. They found almost nobody really that looked like they were going to be the suspect. There was later a confession from somebody that they heard a man say that they were going to sell their son the next day. Like maybe somebody sold their son, and another woman came forward, I believe, many years later saying that her mother had purchased a child when she was younger. That was a small boy, and then one day the kid disappeared. So all sorts of different stories about this boy in the box. And one of the researchers or people who were interested in the case actually kept a cast of the kid's face in their suitcase, so in case they ran into somebody that they could ask them, hey, have you seen this kid? And they did that, I think, for the rest of their life. So that case was never solved, unfortunately. Like I said, I was just doing a reading on this, and it was an interesting reading. I'm going to just continue on with that. Of course, we are going to start with the basics. Let me just tell you what the previous reading said so that you don't have to worry or at least wonder what that was all about. So in the previous reading, I saw a lot of sword energy. The Queen of Swords came up reversed at one point near the start, like the first line that I always put here. And then in the second line, after asking a few extra questions, we got the King of Swords, also upright, but a reversed and backwards King of Cups, with a whole bunch of different pentacles and a couple of wands cards here and there. So the story that I got from that was that actually somebody purchased this child. On the front end there was somebody selling a child who was born illegitimately. That's what it looked like, because we had the lovers, no, the Two of Cups reversed next to a Knight of Pentacles. Yes, so there's somebody who had a child somewhere, and then somebody's like, we need to get rid of this kid, we can't have them. Person who bought that was the reversed Queen of Swords, and they were like, oh, this is great, we're going to make this kid into this perfect person that we had like in our dreams, because the star showed up, but the star was reversed. And with the vice versa deck, I don't know if we're going to be able to see that. I think I already shuffled it actually. Well, the star reversed on this deck in any case shows somebody, the person who is in the star, looking at this radiant spectral being. Like that was the idea, the ideal that she had of, oh, we're going to have this kid and it's going to be so good. We had the Ten of Cups in there as well, like, oh, lots of fun feelings about having this child in their life. And then after that we got nothing but pentacles, like the negative versions of pentacles, like, oh my god, spending a lot of money here, oh my god, it cost a lot of money as well to get this kid, and oh my god, we're losing so much money on this child. And it was almost like they cut it off at some point, like somebody was financially supporting them, that support was cut off, and then the child had to suffer because of it. And I'm not really sure whether that was like they suddenly got the kid out of their life, or if they just stopped giving them food and clothes and everything that they needed, because at some level they did appear to care, because there was that King of Cups there reversed though. That's why I'm doing this key motion, and they probably were at least somewhat emotionally invested, because they did actually wash and cut the hair of the child before they were put in that box and left in that field. So we were there. And that's a little bit disappointing that my camera didn't record any of that. I only have the audio. Could upload that at some point if people are interested to hear the first part, but we're gonna go in with the second part. So now we have like a bit of a background story, which you unfortunately didn't see, but let's take a look at the front end, like what happened first of all with the parents, because we didn't see much about the parents. We only really got what came after. So I'm going to use these, the vice versa tarot deck for the parents. And if you want any more questions answered, we're going to go in there with the Crow Tarot deck, which can possibly get us sufficient information from the dead, so to speak. Okay, so the parents of this boy, because we don't really know anything about the kid's origin story. What can we learn about that? Oh, lots of cards. This is the Hierophant, but it was reversed. And there is actually a kid here with a key. That's very interesting. So I'm guessing, just based on this card alone, that this child was born to somebody's family. Maybe not them themselves. Perhaps their daughter had a kid and they could not be seen to be having a child with a child out of wedlock. That's already a pretty strong indication. Put that over there. We have a bunch over here as well. What do we got? 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, here we go. Once again, confirmed this person was somebody who was like a very central person in the community. And they definitely were seen as a very charitable person. But this, in case it's reversed and we're seeing the back of the chair like outward facing, they could not have this happening within their circle. It would probably have been... well, this was like the 30s and 40s, I think, maybe even early 50s. I'm not quite sure about the year. But there was a year where you did not have kids out of wedlock in any case, because usually girls, if they got pregnant before they were married, they would somehow disappear off to take care of a sick aunt somewhere for a few months. And then when they got back, they were childless and nobody knew any better, unless, of course, you were keyed into that type of thing. And so it was not an age where you could be seen to have kids out of wedlock. That's the whole idea here. Then over here with these two, it seems like somebody was in a certain position within the community where they could definitely not be seen to have this type of thing happening, this type of scandal. And so we have here, this looks like the Page of Wands. And that is a quick action to try and sort things out. Over here, we have the 3. Is the Empress, I believe. Let me just quickly check if I'm right about that. It looks like the Empress because they are definitely surrounded by a whole field of wheat here, and she's definitely one with nature, but I just gotta quickly check. Yeah, that is definitely the Empress over here. So this is somebody who is actually a nurturing figure within the community, and perhaps also lined up with these cards over here, that it was like somebody who is usually seen to be doing the exact right thing, Miss Perfect, and now something happened to them that they probably perhaps judged other people for. They didn't spend too much time thinking about the child though, because the Page or the Knight of Cups tends to be somebody who's focused on their own feelings and they're not really watching where the horse is going. Are they stepping over water? Yes, they are. They're not paying attention to what's happening to anybody else. So it's kind of like this child needs to go, and therefore we're getting rid of them. This is the Emperor, I think, but reversed. Is that right? Let me just check that real quick, just to be sure. But I'm pretty sure this is the Emperor reversed. So this might be a couple that could not be seen to be doing that sort of thing. This is indeed the Emperor here. So that's a couple here, almost like a power couple that could not be seen to be doing the wrong thing. It may have been his decision to get rid of them while she is focused on herself. So we have like an image here of a couple that was seen to be perfect, perhaps not married yet, and therefore they could not be having a kid right there. She was focused on herself and he was focused on the action, seems like. But we weren't done yet with this deck over here. Let's go ahead and see if we can get anything else. Whoopsie. Okay. This is a lot. I'm going to shuffle this again. And I'll take a look at the others. Usually when a whole stack falls out, can't mean that everything here is needed. Oh. Ooh. Okay. These 3. Alright, so first one that fell out. This looks like the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Alright, so that's somebody who's also taking a look at the finances, saying, hey, you know what? Maybe you can't even really afford to have a kid right now. You definitely need to... I need to get this card here. get rid of it, and they went to somebody who knew how to get things done, if you know what I mean, and they then decided where the kid was going to go. And I think this is perhaps also the person who went and traded it off. We also see here the Four of... Yeah, here we go. More money management. Again with the other reading, lots of pentacles. This is the Four of Pentacles. Also means somebody who's really money-minded, trying to manage finances, and in this case, not great. Oh, what do we have here? Okay. This is the Ace of Cups, but it is the back side. This is the usual, the foreground. Well, maybe I was actually wrong about this whole thing over here. Not the whole thing, but that it was his idea to get rid of her while she focused on her feelings, because we see here action and then the Empress, and feelings and then the Emperor. But somebody coming in to overrule him with financial aid, or at least financial matters. So it looks more like she wanted to get something done. She needed to get rid of them. He was like, I don't know, still on the fence about this. And then I think maybe the parents, the mother came in and said, no, you need to get rid of this kid. Because we do see here the Ace of Cups is usually like a very emotional card. You can see him over here staring at this statue admiringly. So I think he went along with it because he really respected and loved the women in his family. We see here some Eight of Pentacles reversed, meaning that they're working very hard on something, but perhaps not the right thing. Maybe they're like still struggling with that. What's the other side about? Oh, somebody learning. Oh, I never saw the back side of this. So there we go. Studying, at least him focusing on certain things, perhaps not the right ones. And this is the High Priestess, reversed and upside down. So we're looking at the back of it. Yeah, I think combined with these two, I think the father in particular had a lot of issues with this. Like he's working very hard to try and keep the focus on the right things. Like, yeah, no, we really did the right thing because they told me A, B, and C. And so therefore, this is the right thing to do. I really like this person, so I'm going to stick by it no matter what. But secretly, they are definitely still very much concerned about that. They're not very happy about it. I'm pretty sure that they have passed away since then, but they were not at all at peace with that. That's what I'm seeing so far. Let's see what else we've got. What shall we ask about? So this is the family. Let's ask if we, or if they, knew anything about the fate of the child, if they ever learned about the fate of the child. What can we see about that? Whoops, careful now. This one wants to go. There you go. So that they learn about that. If they flip over like that, then I take them. This one. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Hey, this one came up last time as well. And we have here the Queen of Swords reversed. Oh, this is the Queen of Swords reversed from before, who came back in and or into their life to basically offer the child a good existence. At least that's what she said. And they got some financial gain from that, but Page of Pentacles meant they spent it in a way that was probably not very good for them. Ultimately, they do actually have the Ace of Pentacles here, though. So there's definitely some financial gain from that. Like perhaps now that they didn't have the child to take care of, they now were able to do things with their finances that they would not have been able to do otherwise, because a child is quite a financial drain. And here we have the Five of Swords reversed. There's still the internal conflict, so maybe this does point towards that they did at least have some inkling of what happened to the child afterward. That doesn't quite answer it. Let's go back to that. Do they know of the fate of that boy? The Chariot popped out, and there was quite a lot of activity with that as well. So maybe there was some internal struggling that led to perhaps trying to track him down. What do we got here? Five of Swords, or Five Swords. Five of Wands, and the Six of Cups reversed. So this seems to me like there was a lot of internal struggle, perhaps with that same person who was like, I don't know if I want to let him go or not. And they definitely had a lot of regrets. And there was a lot of struggle. This is upper right, so this is also external struggle. So they definitely regularly talked about the child after they were gone. And perhaps wondered what could have been with the reversed Six of Cups. But that doesn't quite answer my question. Did they know about the fates of the boy ending up in the box? King of Pentacles. Nope. That's more like somebody getting stuff done. Maybe they just kind of poured themselves on their lives afterwards. None of this is actually saying that they actually knew anything about the fate. This is all like regret over here. It's like a little regret corner. And I think this is more of a let's just forget that ever happened and moved on. So I don't think they were aware of that. So that's kind of sad. They don't even know that. They chose the life, well, their own life basically, over having this child's life in their life. And we have here Three of Swords, Three is a crowd. So perhaps certain people even thought that, well, I kind of do feel like it definitely remained in the background, the memory, but I don't think they were aware of what happened. Maybe they were constantly thinking, what if they had stayed? And that's the third sword here in the heart. Like, it always stung them, at least stung him, because I'm about to put it next to him, that the child was removed from their life, and what could have happened, what could have been. That probably always stuck with them. But I'm not getting the impression that they knew of the fate or if they've ever learned of that. That doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, so I'm going to call it here. Hope you found that interesting. Like I said, if you want to hear the audio recording of the first part of the reading, I can put that up too. If you guys want to hear that, there's just no video with that at all because I'm using a capture card, and I thought, since usually when I use a capture card, let's just go into this real quick so I can explain what happens. You hook it up to your camera, and then you hook up that capture card to your laptop or computer, and you can just record stuff from the camera while the computer runs and records things, but the camera itself thinks it's idle. And so then after a couple of minutes of just sitting here thinking that it's not doing anything, it shuts itself down, and then if you're not paying attention, you'll lose certain pieces of your reading, and that's annoying. So I thought, being smart, hey, why don't I set the camera to record as well while the laptop is recording, and then I'll have the camera paying attention to the reading, and everything's also being recorded on the laptop. And that is also why I recorded the reading on the camera initially. After recording, deleted it off the camera because they do turn into rather large files, assuming that my laptop had captured everything. But apparently when I do this in OBS and I have the camera recording things, the OBS, the software thinks, oh, we're not seeing anything through the camera, so it was just black. So that was very nice to discover afterwards, that we have nothing but black footage with me talking over it. So that's the story of the camera. And like I said, if you want to hear the audio, I can upload that sometime later. And just as I was about to say goodbye to you, the camera actually turned itself off. So that's just to explain how that works. In any case, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope to see you for another reading. Like I said at the beginning, if you have any ideas for me to do readings, I don't think I said it in the beginning actually. Normally I do that little spiel at the start, like, oh hey, I'm an intuitive reader. If you got anything you'd like me to read, let me know. But because I was so upset with the first recording not working out, I just forgot about that. So let me just do that right now, in case you're about to sign off. What a rambling end, but okay, we'll just do it this time because normally it doesn't go like this. Anyway, so like I would normally say, I am an intuitive reader. I read the cards as I see them. And if you have any other ideas about what's being shown here, let me know that in the comment section below so that we can have a discussion about that or get more inputs. Also, if you want me to do a reading by something else, let me know that in the comment section as well, and I'll get to that sometime in the future. There, did it. It was a struggle. It's taken me about an hour, but we're through. All right, so that was the boy in the box. Hope you found it interesting. Hope to see you at another reading. Stay healthy, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.